Okay, it's 8:30, and so we're going to get started with our week 2 session of Introduction to Corrections. So I hope that you coming along pretty well. This first week, if you can mute yourself, I mute everybody again. For some reason or other, keep unmuting. But at any rate, you should be able to all hear me. And I'll keep you guys muted because otherwise we get a lot of feedback and even the recording won't come out very well. So at any rate, as I said, I hope you guys survived that first week. There's been still some confusion with people. Try to get people to remember that we normally start on Mondays, but we started this year because of the 4th of July falling on a Tuesday. We started the 5th, and then your initial posts were due Friday, and your reply posts due Saturday for week 1, and your assignments were due according to the normal schedule on Sundays. So now we're in our first full week. We started Monday. Tuesday, your initial posts for week 2 were due, and then your reply posts due on Saturday. So we're going to get right into that. So let me share my screen. And this is not what I want. That's not what I want to share. I want to share. This. This is what I want to share. Okay. So now you can see, I'm not going to go over this side of the board because I already covered this with the archive. All of you should have received the archive by now from week 1 that laid out the foundation for what to expect in terms of the project, which sometimes there's a lot of confusion. And I always remind everybody that if you have a question about that, that you go back to the archive and open that up and listen to it. It's about an hour long. And I spent a lot of time breaking down the requirements and details of the project. I also laid out the requirements and I haven't gotten to the point yet, but I'm your grades, I should have them in by no later than Saturday for your week 1 assignments. And I will tell you that the key thing that I always tell students is please pay attention to the APA requirements. People lose so many points because of that. And it could be the difference in an A or B or B and a C. And I already go over that quite a bit. I spent a lot of time last week going over it, but making sure that you pay attention to this additional course information here. Conduct research or you'll lose 2 points, and all written assignments should be in APA format. Citations in the body and references in the end. If you don't do that, if you miss citations or references, you're going to lose your total points. You won't get part of the points, you're going to lose that. So the key is that what we're really trying to do is get you into the mode and habit that whenever you write a paper in any class, that you get into the habit of following the APA format. And we've given you enough resources to help you, including on our homepage. You can always go to it. You have access to it. Then I remind you that our next lecture will take place 2 weeks from today at the same time and the same place. I also want to point out to you something that I posted, and this is it. It's about the virtual career fair. Let's see if I can get that up for you to see it. Open it. Here it comes. There is a career fair coming up, and that career fair will take place on the 26th at 6 p.m. And you can interview for jobs and things of that nature. This is the link to visit to sign up or register, or you can connect with a career service advisor by clicking on this, or you can chat with them on the student portal, one or the other. And, you know, that's something of value, so that if you're interested in looking for another job opportunity. Okay, let's see if I can close that without messing up here. Don't save. Okay, so now we're back. So now I want to open up the announcement for the week. This week, we're talking about sentencing and the correction process. Your assignments for the week, section 4 of the text, and then there's activity, sentencing issues and sentencing definitions. We're going to take a look at that in a few minutes. And then your discussion assignment, goals and philosophy of sentencing. Those were due on your initial post Tuesday night, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then your reply posts are due this Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Remember Central Standard Time for those of you on the East. And then the written assignment, determinate or indeterminate sentencing, and then your first course project. Now remember, I gave you the rubric last week and told you what the requirements are, but we're going to cover that again for this week for the course project. Because last week I had students sending me messages, what do I write for the introduction? And I said, there are no assignments for the introduction. I covered that during the open house. There was no written assignment for the course project for week 1. The introduction was merely to lay the groundwork for the preparation of the weeks to come, starting with your first assignment, which is due the end of this week, which is Sunday, where you're supposed to select your agency/contact person, and you make sure you provide all the information on it. I spent a great deal of time last week explaining the type of agencies. I said it's either going to be jail, prison, probation, or parole. I said no others, not law enforcement or not other social service agencies. It's got to be jail, prison, probation, or parole. So you're dealing with a person who works in those areas. And someone asked me about using a detective. I discourage that because detectives are investigatory. And remember, this course is a course, an introduction to corrections, which means that corrections doesn't deal with a person until they're found guilty or pled guilty. And this is when you deal with them after the sentencing stage. That's when corrections kicks in. So anyway, that takes place. My motto, adversity is a springboard to success. I shared what that was all about in the open house, about what I went through to let you guys understand why I'm so committed to this area of criminal justice and making sure that I turn out good students. So let's take a look at the course calendar. The course calendar, of course, started out with Monday's reading assignment, your initial post Tuesday, the lecture taking place right now, your reply post Saturday, your written assignment, and then your course project. And then you start on Monday with week number 3. There will not be a lecture. The next lecture will not be until the 26th, okay? And so you'll have the initial post due Tuesday, reply post Saturday. And then that following week, you'll have your written assignment and your quiz that will be due from week 3. Okay? So if you ever want to know where to find, you can go all the way through this whole thing. It will tell you everything, the due dates and times for every assignment that you have for the whole course, just by simply clicking on your course calendar. I have students that ask me, when is something due? I'll refer them back to their course calendar. And it's very easy to get to. You just navigate to where it says calendar. If you have a problem there with that, you can let me know, or you can let personal support know. Which, by the way, remind me, some of you have had trouble with textbooks. There's nothing I can do with textbooks because they're e-books, except to refer you to personal support. Personal support will then have to deal with it from there. I know that there are a few students who had some issues with it, and I've asked those students to keep me posted so that we can make sure that you don't fall too far behind. So that's it for the calendar. Let's look at Module 2. Again, let's start with the assignments. Okay, there they are. This is not a 1 page, not a 1.5 page, not 1 3/4 page, but 2-page paper dealing with the state where you reside, and report if your state utilizes determinate or indeterminate sentencing structure. Explain it, provide the details, provide citations, because it says APA format, and include the basis of philosophy of your state's decision. Second, argue which of the 2 types, regardless of what your state's position is, you believe is more effective, and explain why. Provide references and citations pertaining to that. Make sure you have a cover sheet for your written assignment. Very, very, very important. Very, 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 very important. Okay? And like I said, you don't want to lose 5 points for APA. And then make sure you run your papers through Grammarly. Grammarly is a process whereby you can check to make sure that you haven't taken too much information from the sources that you discovered doing research. But you also, at the same time, want to, I want your analysis. I want your thoughts. I want your arguments, your pros and cons about things. I don't want you to just copy and paste stuff. Like I know some students, because of the fact that it has to do with your state, they'll have a whole page that has their state rules. I don't want you to do that. I want you to briefly provide that information. But at the same time, I want you to make sure that you have included your own thoughts, your critical thinking, your analysis in the process. That is what we're training you guys to be able to do, because that's what your employers are going to be expecting of you. I discussed that in detail during the open house. And then of course, your discussion post. I provide that information on the home page as well. That's a good point. That is exactly, we encourage students to utilize that resource for research, because you'll get reliable sources pertaining to the assignments that we give you. And never, only one student so far has done it, and it's not in this class, because I haven't graded these papers yet. At least I haven't seen it. But in one of my other classes, I graded papers in. Never use Wikipedia. Never, ever, ever. Wikipedia is very unreliable. It's a word-based system, and anyone can change it and put information in there. But yeah, that was an excellent point, to make sure that you utilize the library and learning resources. As a matter of fact, that is one of the points. APA, you can learn that on an online library, but you also can find some excellent excellent articles, and any resource that you need to complete any of the assignments that we give you guys. And then now for your first phase of your course project, let's start this off right. I already gave you a rubric, and I'll go to that in a minute. But in a paragraph or two, don't give me one sentence, two sentences, three sentences, a paragraph or two, don't be afraid to do two. Describe the agency. Include a sentence or two as to why you selected that agency. What is it? Is it something that you desire to do? Is it something that has intrigued you? Something because of a personal experience that you share? Whatever. Then it says include another paragraph identifying the person you will interview and their contact information. When making the initial contact, you'll have the opportunity to demonstrate communication. Remember we talked about transferable skills, communication, because that's what you're going to do by interviewing, demonstrating your ability to communicate. Use appropriate audience-specific tone and vocabulary. In other words, go in professionally. You know. I don't care even if you know the person. I don't care if they're a family member, whoever it is. Be professional during your interview. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be looking for when it comes to this assignment. Now, let me say this: cover sheet and provide references, citations if you can have. Now, let me show you something. I think it's here. Again, I want to remind you, going back to it. Okay. These are for your written assignments. I've already given you this information for your written assignments. So this is for your determined or indeterminate sentencing. So you're going to be graded 25 points. Notice what happened. See, APA, you'll lose 5 points. Bam. Your grammar sentencing structure. But APA is one of the biggest offenders. So you can end up with a 20 right off the bat by not satisfying the APA requirements. Answer these sections. 5 points for identifying your state and sentencing structure. Discussing the background. 5 more points. Explain and support belief as to which is more effective. 10. Because this is where you're really going to elaborate on your gray matter up here in operating. So that's a total of 25 points. Now that's for that written portion. Now what I wanted to get to is this. Let me get down here. I think it's in, okay, it's in another section. Let's go to course materials. No, let's go here. I know it's in one of these. Oh, I know where it is. I'm sorry, let's go back to week 1. Lesson content. Where you go down, here we go. Our timeline. Once again, selection of your agency, contact person. That's what you'll be doing this week. That's what you're going to be doing. Now, when you get to here, I want to share something that I sent you. This is where I got emails from all of you. I want to go back to the rubrics. Okay, this is what I'm going to look at. Your rubric for course 2. This is what I'm going to be looking at to satisfy all of the points, to make sure that you can satisfy all of these points. By doing these things, that's just page 1, okay? Page 2 is the end, communication. So the basic thing that I just showed you a few minutes ago, that's how you get all your points. 0 points if you don't do this, 1 point if you do a little bit, 2, you provide some, 3, you did a real good job. So the key thing is to get all of your points, every single point on that. And that's what you want to take a look at. You have this because I sent this to you. Okay. Good question. Good question. I'm not that dogmatic. I'm going to stop sharing right now and go back. I'm not that dogmatic about citations and references in discussion posts. A lot of professors are, but when I do see them, I acknowledge that I appreciate and like to see that. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. It depends on the student. If I was in that position, my answer would be yes, always, because that's me. And the reason why is because I believe that when I make a statement or submit a statement, I should have some recognized authority to support the statement I made. So because I'm not the expert out there, I'm the student learning it. And even us as professors will do the same thing because we don't want to be guilty of plagiarism. We want to make sure we didn't just take somebody's statements, but we want to give credit to it. And the other reason why we want to do it is to help others who may be interested in pursuing the issue further. They can utilize that resource that we list as a source to research to get that going. So does that answer your question? Okay, the question, and try to make sure that you put your questions not privately, but to everyone so that they can see it. So Chanel, do that if you could. Her question was, do citations have to be included in a written assignment? Does that include discussion posts? That was what I was explaining. That was the question. And the reason why you don't see it in the chat is because it's privately. But that's why I told her to put it in everyone. So the point of matter is that what I'm saying is that if I was doing a discussion, me personally, because I'm one who believes in providing information that's authoritative to support my statements, I would use a source or reference. And so the point of matter is that I use it for that reason. The other reason is so that I wouldn't be plagiarizing or taking somebody's statements without giving credit to source. And then the third reason that I said is because of the fact that someone may be looking at your work and deciding that they want to pursue that issue further, and you've given them a starting point for their research and consideration. So it's a very good point. The way that I explain to students the way the discussion posts work, imagine that if we were all meeting in the same class room physically, which is kind of hard because we're all over the country. But the point of it is that this takes place of that. And so what you do, and then I give some input in there. You'll see my responses to some of yours. You never know which one I'm going to respond to because I try to respond to different students every week. I try not to hit the same student all the time. And put my responses. And sometimes I'll say something like, I disagree with your position. And if I do, I'll explain why I disagree with the position. That is not to mean that you apologize. Don't apologize for your position because that's why I said if you're in the habit of providing support for your position, then that's fine. Because as a lawyer, I can tell you that the way that law changes is somebody had to disagree with the way the law was at that particular time. And then they came out with a new thing, and they got the trier of fact to accept it, and then it became law. And so, or the legislature wrote laws to change it, one or the other. So change takes place. And I said this in the open house, we're not going to be critical of anybody's position on anything, even if we don't agree with them. So, but discussion posts, while I'm on them, try to respond to as many as you possibly can. The more discussion posts that you can respond to, the better the class goes. And also, you learn things from each other. You learn to support each other and those kinds of things. Sometimes people become real good friends after meeting each other in the classes. They don't even have to be in the same state. I know of a student who was down, I think she was in Florida. She met a person in Minnesota, and they became really good friends. I don't know what happened from there. I don't know if they hooked up or what happened, but anyway, you know. So anyway, that's the answer to the question about discussion posts. But again, Carissa posted a very good point. Yep, you can go to resources and you can click on the link guides that help you with APA template as well. Or you could do this. You could do this. You could go to the course homepage and look in additional course information, and that leads you to the writing guide, and also I have APA assistance on here as well, which is the same thing that you just posted there with the same place. Either way, and she's right, the resources tab is very, very valuable. It's covered up right here. I'm going to move this box here with Kelsey and me in it. Put it down there. You have the resources tab there, and you'll be able to find that information there as well. The key thing is try to take time and do your assignments in a professional manner, okay? And we got the writing guide here to help you. We want you to be successful, and that's what we're doing here in this. If I write a paper based off our own knowledge or whatever the subject is, yeah, because, okay, again, put it publicly, Kelsey, so everybody can see it. If you write a paper based off your own knowledge or whatever the subject is, here's the deal. First of all, number one, you're not going to be doing a paper where you're the absolute expert without some sources. So just click, okay, the way you change it from privately is you go down to send to and click at the top where it says everyone. Where it says send to, all you have to do is put your mouse there, and if you click on it, it will tell you to go to everyone. Okay, you got it. But anyway, what I was saying is that even myself, I'm an expert in an area. I still research and find resources to support the positions that I take as well from people who are specialists in the area or something in that area. So students say that to me all the time. They say, oh, it's my own knowledge. I said, okay, but you got it from somewhere. Where did you get it from? You weren't born with it. You had to learn it. You had to research it. You had to write about it or something. But you got that information from some credible source in order for you to gain it and apply it. That's why we say that. Does that make sense? Okay, all right. Anything else? Any other questions about Module 2, the project, or anything? Okay. Anybody else? Looks like nobody else. Okay. So here's where I'm at now. I'm done. It's 9 o'clock. That's why I always say I set them for an hour because sometimes it goes longer. Okay. Again, change your question not from privately to public, Dolores Gilmer. What's your question about the project? Type it in. Or do you feel more comfortable telling me about it with your mic? Because I can open it.
I'm sorry. Do we have to really go for the project?
Okay. Do you have to go there personally?
Yes.
Okay. Watch what I'm getting ready to do. Watch what I'm getting ready to do.
Yes, sir.
I could tell you, but I want you to see it.
Okay.
Okay. You'll select one of 4 components, schedule an in-person interview so you can learn firsthand what it's like. Ask if you can take a tour. Due to security and data privacy issues, some agencies may not accommodate more than an interview. An in-person interview is optimal, but a telephone interview is acceptable with my approval. And last week, I gave my approval. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. The reason why I asked that because that's going to be a little different. My daughter's and so I'm trying to put the baby.
Okay. So telephone interview you can do, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I just said. A telephone interview is acceptable. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's why I turned you to it. If ever you have a question about the project and you don't remember and you can't get to me, just go back to this, and if you read it out loud and you say, oh, okay, there it is right there. There's my answer. If you can't find the questions, which a student already asked me, we haven't gotten there yet, but we're getting ready to get there. You're going to be getting there. The questions are here. Everything is laid out. If you go back to week 1 and the archive that I did, I dissected it and went and spent a whole lot of time with it. And don't, as a student might say, oh, I feel so silly. I said, don't feel silly. Trust me, it's a lot of information. Only reason I could do this is because I know it. It took me several quarters before I learned it, and you're not going to be with me in the last several quarters, okay? This is the quarter you're passing, and get out of here and go to the next one. Okay, you good on that?
Yeah, I think my problem is I'm a little bit overwhelmed with the babies just came and then I got other stuff going and I really want to finish this class out with an A. I think I'm just putting more into what it really is.
The bottom line is this. Did you hear my story that I gave during the open house about what I went through?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. Did you hear the part about me raising kids?
Yeah.
And taking them in on the bus, the L, and the train? Here's the key. I wanted this thing. And I wouldn't let nothing stop me. I allocated my time. I said, I know what I got to do. Man, I had to change diapers. I had to go to the store. See, back in those days, man, we had diapers. You had to dip them in the toilet, and you had
to. I remember that.
I had 50 pins in my mouth, and all of that. 46 and 45 years old now, and they got their own. Well, no, their kids aren't even in diapers now. They're in high school. They're babies. But anyway, we've been through all of that. So been there, done that. So all I can say is this: is that on a real deal is that you can do it. You just have to sit down and work out your management in terms of time. I know babies don't operate on the schedules. I know that already. But I tell you something about mothers and grandmothers that men can't do. And you all can do some stuff, multitask, when it comes to kids and getting assignments and work done better than us. Trust me, I ain't even trying to be a mother, okay? Okay.
It's kind of new to me because I haven't had a child in 24 years, so for her to have 10 boys, it's just like, okay, I'm back to where I used to, but it's kind of new now.
Hey, I'm 67. My baby girl is 9 years old. So,
ooh.
Okay.
What's going on?
So you know, okay?
So it is true you can have your babies in your 50s, huh?
I've been doing it a while. That was true. Yeah, she's 9. Yeah, I was.
Wow.
Yes. Okay. So you got you there. I'm going to answer this question that I just saw another student put up, and I'm going to answer that. Are you good now?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you run into a problem, please don't get too far behind. Call me, text me. Did you see my notice about what I said? When you cannot text me, when you cannot call me, what hour of the day?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Is it in the morning?
No, I'll put you on spot. What hour of the day that you cannot call?
The 25th hour. The 25th hour.
If you should ever get to the 25th hour, I want to know how you did it, okay? We have to laugh. We get stuff done, and it's all good. We're gonna make it. You're gonna do well, okay? All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Chanel. Please put publicly. But the answer to your question is no. And the reason why I'm saying no, and I'm going to just tell you just what she said. She said, can you use police to qualify as an agency? I'm going to say this again. I gave parole, probation, who else? Jail, prison. That's it. And the reason why, just so you understand why we're not using police, is this is a corrections course. The police are done. That means you've been found guilty or you pled guilty and you're on your way, you're in the hands of the correction agency. The police deal with you before all of that, okay? Right. And so that's why we got it. Is that you saying right, Chanel? Or is somebody else saying right? It is right, though. It is right, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that you Chanel said yes?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I think Chanel, you were the one I had the long conversation with, right? Chanel?
Yes.
Weren't you the one I had the long conversation about the people we know?
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Without getting over too much information. By the way, if you do me a favor, call me after you finish here. I want to tell you something that I forgot to tell you. You know my phone number is 630-660-8480. Call me afterwards. I'm going to tell you something really funny.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Usually your local sheriff office will run your local jail. That's true. Cook County sheriffs run Cook County Jail. Will County Sheriff runs the county jail. So the sheriff is different from police. Now, you got to remember now, the sheriff in a lot of institutions, like, for example, we have Cook County here in Illinois, Will County, other counties, we have what we call Cook County Sheriff's Police, and those are police officers. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about the sheriff's portion that deals with the jail, that deals with the housing of individuals before trial or either for short terms less than a year. Okay? Got it, Kathy? Okay, I got it. Anything else, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, all of them, almost all of them run both of them. What state are you in, Kelsey? Where are you? Florida. I know nothing about Florida except I don't want to go down there because I'm afraid of gators.
Well, I'm in Florida too, and it's deep.
I know. I got one of my academic deans. She's getting ready to go to Fort Myers. Are any of you guys in Fort Myers?
No, I'm in Lake County.
Oh, okay. Okay. The heat and humidity is more dangerous than the gators. And the sharks, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, up here we got other problems. You got the gangs and the bullets and stuff like that flying around, you know, but it's something everywhere. But anyway, the bottom line is that yeah, Florida, I don't like the hurricanes either, you know, at all. So you won't get me in Florida, and the heat and humidity is something. So I'm kind of like just waiting to see if you guys have any more issues. Otherwise, I could end and let you get back to work. Anything else, guys? Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure. Is there a way you can send a link? Yeah, I always do that. You should have gotten a link already to the open house. I sent that to you. Yeah, there's some technical issues that I'm working out with the people, and I got to work on that after I get through. I'm going to, yeah, you'll get it the next day or so. You'll get the archive or recording of this lecture, definitely. Okay. Chanel, I'm looking for your call. As soon as I hang up, just give me a call back. So with that, I'm going to say good night to everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.